Hola, 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 and welcome to the Amiga Mía Talk Show. I'm so excited because today, familia, we are joined by the band. You've probably seen all over social media. I've been following their journey, and I'm so excited that we get the opportunity to speak to them today. Called Chuwi, and we're going to be having a conversation with the band members. They're currently touring through Latin America. I believe they just finished up their concert in Chile, which some of the social media content that's coming out of that is crazy. And I'm sure that it's doing the rounds across social media. And I will definitely be sharing some through the channels that we have as well. And they're currently now in Peru, I believe. So we're going to find out a little bit more about that. So before we jump in and welcome the band, please make sure that if you're watching this, you'll also be able to see if you're listening to this, you'll also be able to see the video version of this on YouTube as well. So don't forget to check that out. All right. So without further ado, let's welcome the band. Hey guys, welcome. We're so excited to have you in Sydney.
Happy to be
Hello.
here.
I guess for people discovering Chuwi for the first time, I think a lot of people, it's fair to say a lot of people have, seen you on social media, they've seen you around, they've seen you at performances. But I guess people want to know who is the people behind the band. So maybe if we can go do a quick around the virtual room, each introducing yourselves and a little bit about, how the band, started.
Well, we're Chewy, and we're siblings. Willy is my older brother, and Wester, the other darker skinned one, is my younger brother. And that's how it started. We were kind of at home during the pandemic, a little bored, and we'd always been musically inclined. So we started, we like to say, playing the game of artists. So we had to come up with a name. We had to, upload our music somewhere because, we were doing it. We were sharing it to friends, that type of thing. So we were virtual musicians, I guess. And then when it came to do our first live performance, we needed a percussionist. And that's where Adrian comes into the picture. And then I guess formally, that is how Chewy is formed after that first performance. That was in 2021, late 2021. And from then on, it's been kind of a roller coaster, a local roller coaster. And now I guess it's a world roller coaster. Somehow we're here. Yeah.
I know it went from 0 to 100, didn't it? Like that's how I'm not even in the band, and I feel that extreme. I feel like that's a credit to you. That's a credit to you as a band, and that's a credit to the essence. And you're obviously providing a sound that people have been waiting for. And I say that personally, and I also say that based on the demand that I'm seeing for people to know your story. Just so you know, in the other side of the world, here in Sydney, Australia, en el otro lado del mundo, donde viven los canguros, we want to hear about you. So that is, do you know what I mean? Like
Trust
that
me,
is saying something.
that's equally crazy to us. It is equally crazy because, yes, we've been working very hard and we're very passionate about the music we do. But, a year ago, Australia was like a crazy thought. So it's
Yeah.
crazy to us. Yeah.
Love that. Love that. Love that. All right. So Puerto Rico, we feel it in your music. I had the pleasure of I've seen you guys perform a couple of times, but what really got me emotional was the performance with at the Latin Grammys 2025. And that was actually one of the first times I got to interview here in Australia some international artists on the red carpet. They're starting to let Australia sort of interview talent on the Grammys, and I'm so honored to do that. And one of the performances I saw was yours with Weltita. And something that I definitely gathered from your music is obviously you can feel Puerto Rico, you can feel the sound of it. I wanted to ask, what parts of the island live inside Chewy's sound? Like, what are you trying to bring out in that music as it relates to Puerto Rico?
I think we have every part, the entire island within us, and it leaks out to the music. I think also part of our proposal, it kind of grew, right? And we have a bit of the entire Caribbean in our music as well. Um, for example, our second EP, Tierra, we kind of focused on Dominican uh, traditional rhythms and Dominican folk music. Our first EP, Pan, was more Puerto Rican based. We're gonna start moving now into Cuban rhythm. So I think we're just really passionate about Caribbean music and the way it's been so important in our lives because it's the music we grew up with and it's the music that defines um, us four as individuals and really all of us Caribbeans as a people. So that's what I would say. That's how it shows up in our music.
I love that. I think that's really well put, and I think that it's beautiful to see that you're bringing different parts of the Caribe here. Because going back to and I'm always going to speak from this side of the world, because I know that a lot of people who follow Amiga Mía as well are sort of from the Oceania region, so some of the Asian region, New Zealand. Actually, we have a lot of, just so you know, we have a lot of people flying from this entire region to this concert you're going to be performing at. So you're not just going to perform to Australians, you're going to be performing to people from this entire part of the world. And so I think that's beautiful that you're bringing that sound and it's representing Puerto Rico as much as it's representing the Dominican Republic and other countries. You kind of mentioned this as well. It doesn't really hit one genre. I've been reading a lot of articles about, your music, and I'm reading some of the words that say fusion, they say futuristic, they say folkloric, they say plena, that says una mezcla, no? So I guess coming from you, what is Chuwi sound? Is there a specific genre that you lean more towards?
Our sound is Chuwi Core.
Chuwi Core.
I love that. And so break down Chuwi Core for me. What does that mean?
I think
Chuwi
that's
Core.
just like
Go.
yeah.
Go. Do.
No, okay. I think that's just like almost like the lazy version of admitting that we don't even know. Like un poquito eso, un poquito.
We have no idea.
I guess
we're
we can-
very- dile ahí.
To if we try to I guess break it down a little bit, it's very tied to the first question, right? I always say this is the way we approach it, right? We love Caribbean music. It's been a part of our lives since we were born, and we love hearing it, right? But there was this need at some point to hear Caribbean music that spoke more to the situations and to our generation, to the things we're going through now, right? A lot of Caribbean music and folkloric Caribbean music is beautiful, and yet I feel that it speaks on stories of the past, which are beautiful, but there's a point where you kind of disconnect because they're not talking about what you're living day to day. So we were looking, at some point we were searching for maybe artists who were doing that, but we didn't find any. So we said, let's try it ourselves. And that's how we ended up doing what we do. And I think that's kind of what our style is, right? Trying to bridge the gap between the past and the present, with the rhythms and the music that we grew up with.
I really love that. Sometimes when you don't find what you were hoping to, like music that speaks to you or music that represents you, you got to create it yourself. So you're true pioneers in that respect. Well, in many respects, but in that one, I think that is very honorable and admirable, and I love that. What does your creative process look like? Like, is there a certain when you think about the music, is it a reflection of what you're experiencing, as you said previously, or do you also look at other creative processes to draw inspiration into the music?
We always try to express what we're feeling in the moment. Like sometimes we get the question, how do you guys choose to make songs that are kind of like political or something like that? But I don't think we ever start a song saying, we want the song to be political. It's more, these things are happening around us. How does that make us feel? And we start from there. It's also very chaotic, the creative process. Like maybe somebody comes with an idea for a song, like, I want to make a song about this. And we all like it. And we're like, yeah, let's start writing. And we start writing lyrics and then like actually making the beat and the rhythms. And until we finish the song eventually and we release it. So it's very random. But yeah, we always try to just express how things make us feel.
And would you say that there's like a lot of ideas being thrown out that sometimes don't come into fruition, maybe don't make it? Or do you say most of your ideas that end up being a track in some sorts?
I think we've always been very intentional in what we put out, and also the ideas don't always start from zero. Maybe Wester brings something to the table that's at 50%, or like something was already started, and once that happens too, it's very intentional what we try to put out there. And I don't know, maybe some things that we have done we haven't like put out in the moment they were created, but the we have the intention to use it maybe in another time or anything. It's very like personal too.
I guess my next question is, we've seen your performance, well, I've certainly seen it, and a lot of people, all over the world have seen your performance at the Latin Grammys 2025. So what was that like, being on the stage, performing, having all these cameras around? What was that experience like? How did it come about? What was the feels?
It's crazy because we always like to say like we had this like vision of what Chuwi could be, and we had almost like this 5-year plan type of thing. And in the back of my head, I was like, if everything goes well, like, we have this album coming out. So I'm like, maybe in like 2 to 3 years, we'll be nominated, and maybe we'll do like maybe that could happen. It's like these thoughts you have. So for it to have happened so soon, it's very shocking to all of us. Like, we're very in tune with how crazy that is, because we all saw it in our TVs as kids. Como que that's part of what we do as Latins. Como que, diablo, escuché esta canción y quiero ver quién gana. Como que it's just part of the culture type thing. So it was surreal. It was very surreal. The most interesting part of all of this is seeing what is behind the camera, is seeing the people that are working the stage, is seeing the rhythm to it, the order to it. There's like a specialty to it. So yes, it was incredible to perform and it's revolutionary, but I think the most thing that blew our mind was like, these are jobs. Like, people have these jobs where they make a show work, and like it works because they're so committed at doing it. So I think out of everything, and I think everyone can agree, that was the craziest part, to see the humanity to it, I guess.
Yeah, really well put. It's a huge production, and as I mentioned previously, like, we even have people from all over the world dial into that and watch that. And so for you to be on that stage I just want to say congrats, and I think that's massive. Obviously, a song that's taken you on big stages, and you're collaborating with Bad Bunny. How did that process come about with Weltita? Like, was that creative direction from your end or from Bad Bunny's end? How did that come about?
Yeah, that was all really crazy. Let's see. It's a very long story, but I guess to try and make it as short as possible. It all started from, surprisingly for us, mutual admiration from our side, because we didn't know he was listening to us. And the first time we met to work at Weltita, we had a really long conversation that we actually didn't end up working on any music. We just talked for a long time, and it was just that he told us that he had been listening to us for a while, that he was a fan, and we were like, with our heads blowing up, because we're like, what? How can it be possible? Bad Bunny listening to us, and of course we're huge fans of Bad Bunny. Who in Puerto Rico doesn't admire, this man? So we sat down, and then by the second time around, no, that first time, he showed us a very initial demo of the song, right? It was like the very basic idea, and he said, "I see you jumping on this song with me. Like, I kind of see you there." And we were like, "Yeah, let's do it." Um, and then we kind of asked him, kind of scared, like, if he could send us the stems, which are basically like the instruments, the audio of the instruments, so we could kind of put our own production on it too, and see if we could, I don't know, put more things on it. And he was really cool about it. He said we could do it. So we produced it, like, put more things on it. It didn't have a lot of instruments at that point because it was a demo. So we kind of went crazy and put a lot of instruments. We showed it to him. scared too because we were like, I hope he doesn't think we ruined his song. And he was super cool again. He was like, yeah, this is good. Let's keep working on it. And we just kept working on it. The whole part of Lóren singing that didn't exist. He said like, I literally want the song to stop, and I want you to just take it somewhere else. So that's how that was born. And the whole process was very collaborative. Everything about the song was extremely, you know, from both parts. So that was a very beautiful part of it. It's a song that was built together, and I do feel like it shows, and people say it, that it feels like this a very tight fusion between our sound and his sound. Yeah, I think that took me like 10 minutes to say, but it's the shortest version of the story I can tell you.
No, I love it. And what that allows is it allows for our listeners and people watching this and people who are going to read, because I'm also going to write up an article about this in your story, is to want more. And they're going to obviously get more when you come and perform and as we continue to follow your journey. So I always love bite-sized information for that reason, because it kind of gives us more excitement around you and to continue to follow your story. So thank you so much for that. Again, I just want to go back to like, that's wild. So congrats, to be with the biggest artist, like put aside Latin, like, yeah, he's Latin and we love that and we're proud of that, but biggest artist in the globe, and you're touring with him at the moment and you've done a collab, like that's massive. So very proud, very proud. Now moving on to then, saw you Latin Grammys and obviously this song, and we started popping up and seeing, oh, Chuwi's everywhere, Chuwi, 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 Chuwi. And then all of a sudden I saw this Tiny Desk performance, which showed like more of an intimate side, a kind of different side, which I loved seeing as well. So talk to me a little bit about that. Like what were you hoping for people to understand about that performance with Tiny Desk?
¿Quién se atreve? ¿Quién quiere?
That's a good question. It's interesting because the Tiny Desk, it has been like a dream of ours forever. Like we've been fans of the Tiny Desk concert for years, years, years. Like each one of us has our favorite Tiny Desk. So when we got the news, it was like a very, very tough moment because it's like, oh my God, this is happening. Like, what do we show? There's so many things you could show. There's so many songs you could present. How do you pick like what to show? So we eventually decided that we wanted to bring to the Tiny Desk what our essence was that's like bring our tiny little corner from Puerto Rico to the Tiny Desk so many people can see it. Like, and that means for example, we brought Adrian's sister. She's one of the singers that was singing in the Tiny Desk. Another girl, she was a childhood friend of ours. She went to church with us when we were kids. We also brought a percussionist from San Germán that studied in the same universities and the same area that we did, and ¿cómo se dice trompa? The French horn
French
player,
horn, yeah.
Jan, that also was from the same area as us. So we kind of wanted to just bring this piece of the island, this west side, and yeah. ¿Qué más te puedo decir?
We also
I-
wanted to bring like a different perspective to it because we had never done this type of completely acoustic situation, especially live, and that I think that was like one of maybe the biggest challenges. But honestly, I think we did great, and we also brought that attitude, I guess. Like we're here and we're just gonna do what we do. We hope you enjoy.
I'd like to add, I think generationally, we're tapping into like existential worries of this generation. So there was something about us wanting to like, if people if only heard us from Weltita, and we love that song, and that's incredible that the door has opened because of Weltita. We also wanted to like be like, yeah, and part of the soul of Weltita is guerra, and it's an existential end of world song. Or Navidad en Cataño, where we're very family oriented and Christmas feels different. Como que we wanted to be very intentional to like kind of show the spirit of Chuwi. I hope we did that. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, I just wanted to add real quick that I felt like it was really cool also that Lóren mentioned Navidad en Cataño, which is a song we made a long time ago. Um, it was just one of the songs that most people tell us was their favorite of the set, and it's really cool that we were able to like get this on a platform where people were able to find it, right? Because it kind of got lost in the streaming services. Um, so we were like really intentional about picking these songs, Navidad en Cataño, starting out with Falta Algo, which was like our latest release. So you could get like a mix of everything. I don't know. I just thought that was cool too.
I love going back to the point around bringing other people from your surrounding, from your community to the Tiny Desk performance as well. I thought that was beautiful, and providing that additional context. So thank you so much. Well, just so you know, I felt it, and a lot of people felt it, and I noticed that performance was a bit different, and I love it. It shows the multi-dimensional side that you bring to the table. So now moving into Australia, the land of the kangaroos. We're going to see you in February. The 28th of February and the 1st of March. What do you expect, or what do you even before the show, put the show aside, is this your first time coming to Australia, and are you going to sightsee in Australia?
First time, and I hope not the last.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
still can't.
like
I have to be
for me
honest. I'm
personally,
freaking out for that flight. That flight scares me, but we're ready. We're ready to do it.
I want to see. Did Gary do it? Is that how you pronounce the instrument? Did Gary do? I don't know if you've heard that.
Very close.
Or
Didgeridoo.
yes, I
didgeridoo.
want to see. I want to see that being played. That's one of the most exciting things.
I love that you brought up the didgeridoo. So I guess for those who don't know and who are listening, the didgeridoo is a very important and key instrument of the First Nations. So here, our Indigenous people, we also refer to them as the First Nations people. And some of the instruments that they use to play music is absolutely the didgeridoo. It's a very beautiful, long instrument, and I absolutely happy to send through any recommendations of artists or places that you can go to visit the culture here, the First Nations culture, the music, the instruments.
Oh,
A lot of respect for you for bringing that up. And yeah, this is huge. Actually, we visited, going a little bit on a tangent here, left field, but we're visited by a Mexican Indigenous artist. She's traveling to Australia and she's performing with an Indigenous artist this Friday. She's a very, very short visit. So we'd love to see those two Indigenous sides collaborating. It's very powerful for us, especially as a Latin community. And what
That's
do
awesome.
you hope for this Australian show? You've got two shows in the heart of Sydney. It's one of our biggest stadiums, and I'm sure you've traveled all over Latin America, and you've performed in some of the biggest stages in the world. Like, what do you hope for this performance in Sydney? Any thoughts?
I think in every country that we've gone, we've searched for context, and not just like the cliche context, but like being in the ground and like understanding. And the fact you just told us that other countries are flying to Australia to be part of the show is giving me like this type of information that I'm just so excited to like perform in front of all these different cultures. Generally, we're so excited. I think there's something really beautiful with music. The fact that this Mexican artist is gonna do a show with the native people and their music, like, it just confirms that, maybe our music is different and maybe it's the first time that these people in this concert will hear it. But I think they'll really understand it. I think there's like a vein that Australia will understand. So I'm just thrilled. I can't wait. That's me.
Nah, same.
yeah.
I'm so excited to go to Australia. And I'm really excited for like you said, like the fact that there's a community that might actually already be listening to our music and we don't even know it, and they're gonna be there and we're gonna be able to like actually bring it to them. To me, is like to die for. Like, I'm so excited for that.
Yes, I just want to quickly reaffirm the fact that not only do we have a Latino community here waiting for you, but we also have a community de Puerto Rico here waiting for you. So they're like half Aussie, half Puerto Rican mix. We actually got quite a few big Latin voices and people who have quite a big profile and presence here, and they're from Puerto Rico. So, and I know 1,000% they're here, and they're also advocating for you and for Bad Bunny and for that music to be here. So, absolutely. All right. Before we wrap this up, we're gonna do a quick pop quiz. So just jump in and feel like no cheating, please. No ChatGPT in the background either. The first question is, what is the capital of Australia? Is it Sydney? Is it Melbourne? Is it Canberra?
Sydney.
Melbourne. Melbourne.
Fuck.
Sydney.
Melbourne. No?
Incorrect.
I'm sorry.
The capital of Australia is actually Canberra.
Yo.
Canberra
Canberra.
is a little tiny baby state that we
What?
have in between Sydney and Melbourne. Yes.
You know why I said Sydney? Because
Why?
of Nemo. When I was a
Yeah.
kid, we watched Nemo so much.
This one's not really a right or wrong. This is just like, what's your thoughts? Are you more excited to see a kangaroo or a koala, and why?
Ooh.
Both. Sorry.
Kangaroo.
Kangaroo, kangaroo, kangaroo.
I
All
can't.
right. Why?
I want to see. I want to see like. I want to see one punching like boxing.
I want to see like a baby peeking his head from the kangaroo pouch.
Kangaroos are like giant rabbits. You have to
Yeah.
see a kangaroo. You just
They
have
are.
to.
So a fun fact, the baby kangaroo is called a joey.
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 A joey. Yeah.
That's so cute.
Yeah. Yeah. And Lóren, why a koala?
No, I think my feed knows I'm going to Australia, and I've just been seeing so many cute koalas in my feed. I don't know. That's the
All right. Next one, true or false? In Australia, the word thongs means flip-flops.
true. True.
True.
True.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So when you come to Australia and if you hear someone saying, "Oh, I'm just going to put on my thongs," it means my flip-flops.
You.
Thank you for letting us know.
And
That
it's
would've-
very common. Like, it's not like, oh, you might hear it. Like, it's very, very common language, like very common.
So what do you call
Um,
thongs? What do you call thongs? Like, like what do you
we
call
say,
our definition?
okay, so there's the polished, I don't know if I'm going to get in trouble by Shivani here. So there's the polished version and the unpolished version. So the polished version is G-string. You say, I'm wearing a G-string. Or you just, Shivani giving the thumbs up. Or the unpolished version is a G-banger. A G-banger.
Banger.
G-banger. Okay.
Very bang.
Got it.
I'm not lying. Australia is a huge country. We have the majority of the country is like outback, right? It's sort of like bush and desert and like big land that's really uninhabited. And a lot of that is like, we love it here because it's quite preserved and beautiful. So if you guys were to be stuck in the Australian outback for one day, who in the group would struggle the most?
Adrian.
I didn't even have to say anything. It's true, okay? Yes.
Adrian. 100%.
It feels
Why
great.
not?
Not that we're survivalists or anything, not that the rest of us
Yeah.
are, but
All right, perfect. And the last question would be, we know that Australia is known for having scary animals and scary things, and a lot of people get scared, being in Australia, you probably see the videos on social media. Which Australian animal are you most scared of coming across?
The emu.
Okay. The emu, very good. That
The
is a
emu.
scary one, I believe. Yeah.
I think
Anything else?
I think it's an Australian jellyfish, or some type of fish that when it stings you get depressed and die, something like that.
Yeah,
I'm
no, you're
scared of that.
absolutely right. Yep. We have the jellyfish, very common in Australian beaches. You just see a jellyfish on the water, or you might see
Oh, it's
them on
common.
the sand. Yeah, and you get stung, and it's extremely painful. And a lot of people,
Forget
they're
that.
tourists, they come to Australia, they don't realize that it's actually toxic, venomous, and it hurts and it stings. Very true. I want to just say thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate you. First of all, I want to say thank you again for just opening up. It was very brief, but it's going to keep us enough information to continue to keep us excited. And I want to wish you all the best with the rest of your tour as you travel with Bad Bunny, and as you also continue with Chuwi as a band and developing your sound, and all the best. I will be waiting for you at the Saturday concert. I'm hoping to go to the Sunday concert as well. Who knows? I wish you absolutely all the best.
Thank you so much for
we
your
hope
time.
so. See you in Australia. We're ready, Australia.
See you then.